Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Ask Sharifah Videocast. I am your host, Sharifah Hardie, and we have an amazing show for you today. I want to introduce everyone to this lovely young lady. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do that is because she has helped me immensely. She has helped me out so much, not just with her recommendations and her support, because you've seen her on all of my shows. You've seen her on the Roundtable Talk Show a million times. You've seen her on Face to Face Talk Show another half a million times. So I wanted to bring you the lady, the one, the only Chandra Gore of Chandra Gore Consulting. Good afternoon, Chandra. How are you?
Good afternoon. I am great. Feeling good now.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about Chandra Gore Consulting. What do you do? What do you offer?
Ooh, okay. So, my consulting firm offers business foundation management and consultation, um, and also public relations. I believe that to actually serve as a consultant and a publicist at the same time, it kind of goes hand in hand because if the business foundation isn't correct and in order, then you can't really pitch people to be on the media and stuff like that because they're not ready for that. So I believe that the duality of both ways that I work go hand in hand. I love being able to consult and provide advice and strategies for different companies who are just starting out or who are in business who are trying to um, restructure themselves to be successful.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times I'll go and I'll look at the brand and I'll say, this is where your deficiencies are. So let's strengthen this. And I've been blessed to been able to provide that Midas touch to a lot of businesses. So I love it. I do like, I really think that for a minute I did have a problem understanding how great I was. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm good. but yeah, but my firm is different. Cause
You are great. I mean, you are
thank
truly
you.
great. I mean, and you are just drippy in personality and charisma. Like you're always smiling. And I think that's one of the most
Got
wonderful
to.
things about you. In the time that I've known you, I've never heard a negative word. I've never looked and said, oh, she has an attitude or she's standoffish or anything like that. You have always been one of the most giving, helpful people that I've met. And then you always, like I said, the personality, because you always have a different t-shirt on. Every time I'm like, now I just
Let me
expect it.
let me tell you. So I came across this company called Digital Rebel, right? I'm an
Mhm,
ambassador for them. But the thing is, I only align myself with brands that I would, what I'm saying, that I could back up. I could back and say, they not messing, they are really good. But the fact that the messages, the shirts that I wear are from them, and she always comes with something that speaks from what I want to say. Because half the time, I will say something that,
mhm. Yes.
and so this is where I'm like, I'm happy that I can wear a statement that aligns with me. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Because right now it's like I, my face is not delivered, so the shirt is gonna have to be how y'all gonna get the message. Because I'm waiting. I'm gonna get a shirt that says "vote." You know what I'm saying? Like just period vote.
Mhm,
Like if you ain't doing nothing else, vote. Like it's
mhm.
gonna because it's like yeah. I love. Listen, y'all. I'll share the link in my thing so y'all can get y'all some shirts.
Okay, we're gonna get us some shirts.
Yes,
Trust the black woman. That's the shirt for today. Trust the black woman. Why were you feeling that message?
because there's a. I will say this from a personal experience. So last week was hard. I was in a lot of pain. You would
Mhm,
have never known that I was in here barely couldn't walk. You know what I'm saying? Like in here crying for hours because I was in so much pain. I didn't go to the hospital until early in the middle of the night this morning, like dead serious. I waited until it got to that point where I couldn't bear it anymore. And for some odd reason, I didn't want to go because I didn't think they was going to believe that I was in that much pain
mhm,
because there's an uphill battle being a black woman. We supposed to be superheroes saving the world, but y'all can't trust our word. Like we have to have somebody else validate The fact that we either going through something mentally, we're going through something physically, we're going through, you know what I'm saying, that we know that outcome of certain situations. So yes, this is my word for the day. Trust the Black woman, because for some odd reason we don't super save so many people. Well, who we gotta turn around and save ourselves, and that's a whole nother ball game right there. Because
I've never heard that. Super saved.
we
Like we're
super
super
saved.
savers.
Hello, yes, we are the fixers. We are the we feed we done fed and nurtured and gave life to people who grew up to hate us. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, come on now, like y'all want us to do all this, but then y'all don't want to believe what we saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to touch on the fact that even inside of Black women, we don't believe each other neither. Like y'all,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like it's insanity the way that things are. You know what I'm saying? As a Black woman, it's too much. It's a myth. That whole
I get
independent,
it.
strong Black woman, that's a whole myth. That is an imaginary farce that has been pushed out by people. No, we are human. I'm no superhero. Like I go through it and I'm tired of faking the funk like there ain't nothing wrong with me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
thank you for being so honest and open. That's one of the things that I've latched on from day one about you is that you are always authentic. You don't put on fronts. You don't put on this fake hate. You don't put on this
mm-mm.
wall. It's like Chandra will give it to you real, uncut, and I appreciate that. I like that. When I was running for Long Beach City Council and I gave a speech or I made a statement and people had a whole lot of things to say about it. I caught a lot of flack behind some of the statements I made. And I
Mhm.
was speaking to another candidate running for city council. And she was like, I love what you had to say. And I said, did you really? I said, because I caught a lot of flack for that. And she said, yeah, but you make for great television. And from that moment on, I was like, yes, I'm just going to say what I have to say, speak my mind, and I play it up as opposed to just trying to be politically correct. And you're exactly the same way. You
I,
say what you mean, you say what you have to say.
I have no choice but to, because people can smell desperation and fakeness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here for I'm not a good actress. I'm not a good liar. So
Mm-hmm,
therefore, if people put on this front, then they forget the front they put on. So when you meet them, it's a whole nother person again. I ain't got time for all that, because once you introduce yourself as somebody else, then it's gonna come. I can't. That's not my life.
mm-hmm.
So
No, you've been on a lot of different shows. We talked about your PR. I'm gonna come back to PR because I'm waiting for a few more people to share the show, put the message out, because we are speaking with a PR expert, and you focus on PR, but you do social media well. So we're going to talk about PR. We're going to talk about social media and some of the other aspects. But no matter what show I have you on, you can speak about so many different topics eloquently. And then at the end, and I was like, final words, Chandra. And you're like, vote. Like we weren't even discussing voting, but you always bring it back to,
hey,
okay, that's nice, but vote.
I mean, because at the end of the day, without if you don't have those freedoms, all that stuff we talked about is pointless.
Mm-hmm,
Like if you don't have the ability to live your life freely, then what's the point of doing all this work? You know what I'm saying? Like make voice heard, because there might be things that could impact your business. There are things that could take away your freedoms. There are things that could directly impact your children and your legacy. So at the end, vote. Like seriously, I think people are playing. Like I watched elections across the country, and Sabrina was running um for office, and she lost by 330 votes.
mm-hmm,
Now all the support she had, you know what I'm saying? 330 people didn't come out to the polls. Y'all couldn't get together. Y'all could have parties. Y'all could do stuff on Facebook. So y'all mean to tell me this was the most important election down there, and y'all couldn't vote this woman in so she could make change?
mm-hmm,
Like it's so important. And then when I followed Duval County elections with Judge Rhonda Peters Waters, she's now a judge. She's an attorney. She tried to make history for 11 years, and she finally got voted in. And she's a black woman. Like y'all, voting is important. Y'all worried about what's going on in Washington when the policies is in your backyard. Your
mm-hmm.
school districts are your children are being targeted in these school boards. You know what I'm saying? Like pay attention.
Right.
This is how you have sheriffs and district attorneys and stuff like that, who people who don't care about you. Like, you have to pay attention to that. It's all fine and well to talk about the federal stuff, but it starts in your backyard. Like, if you can't understand how the process works, what you opening a business for? You voting on taxes that affect you and not even paying attention. So I'm sorry, I would go off on a tangent on that, because everybody's like, oh, that, yes, it matters. It matters so much. So yeah.
I love tangents. I love tangents. That's what I do here. Tend to
Because
go off on some kind of tangent about this story, this thing. But I want your opinion, your thoughts on specifically one area, not all of it, but Kamala Harris. Because what has been just driving me crazy is everybody's arguing about whether or not she's black. She's black. She's not black. She isn't. I'm like, okay, but weren't didn't they say any drop of black blood in you makes you black? So why is it
Listen,
like all of this? Okay, I'm just trying to learn. So teach me.
I realized there's something about our people. Like, y'all just can't quit. Y'all like a Jerry curl that ain't been set right. It just ain't gonna be right. It's like it won't quite curl. Like, y'all, we will find a reason to be mad about something. Listen,
Mhm.
granted, her policies may not align with your view that she had when she was over there, and whatever she did in her personal life. Like, y'all trying to drag this woman through the mud, but at the same time, y'all rather a clown. Like, y'all looking at the wrong things. Stop debating on her heritage, because that one drop rule applies.
Mhm.
She can't pass. Trust
Mhm.
and believe. I'm from the South. I've seen people who passed, and when
Mhm.
they found out about that one drop, them people look lily white. But they found out that one drop, they was black. You
Mhm.
black. You know what I'm saying? So stop trying to quantify how black somebody is. Anybody who's born in this country that's a darker skin, but you are not like quantify somebody else's heritage, saying, well, we can't even quantify our own. Like, mind your business. What does that have to do with getting stuff done? See, somebody come get these people.
I don't
He
know, but
says
people
they're
just
working my
find
nerves.
ways. They find ways to disagree, things to argue about. And to me, I feel like it's a distraction. Let's get back to the research. Let's get back to the issues. Let's just talk about and discuss what is important, and let's focus on that. Let's not focus on her heritage and whether her mom was an Indian, actually from India, or who she's
Oh
married.
Lord,
Let's
how many people have talked about they got Indian in their family?
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
Y'all been screaming, I got Indian in my family for years, and you.
But that doesn't disqualify her, is my point. Let's focus on the issues. Let's get back to what is important. And that's why I just love to kind of pick your brain and hear your thoughts. But I don't want to get too political. This is not face to face. This is all about Chandra Gore and Chandra Gore Consulting. But I just love your take on life and the way you see it. I think it's interesting. Why did you get so passionate about politics?
because because I realized that we have an issue on voting. I felt like our people were we pay attention to the wrong things
Mhm.
sometimes. The likes or the clout, like all that kind of stuff becomes the forefront. And so for me, what sparked my interest in politics was moving here and looking at the county clerk election from like 6 years ago, where we had a qualified person who was a judge, a magistrate, like she was a judge, like a judge. Like, she knew the inner workings of who that could make the county clerk's office work a lot better, and grow and serve the community. And then you had the person who's running against her with barely just a couple classes from community college.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I worked here for 20 years, but did not have the wherewithal to implement or to make strategic changes that would serve the community. And so when I looked at it, the votes were based on her personal life and what she looked like instead of what could serve us as a community. So
Hmm.
that's what got me, what sparked my interest into talking more about the politics that happen around me that directly affect me, because it was like y'all really minding the wrong business. You know what I'm saying? Like they brought up the fact that she was married to somebody who wasn't black. They brought up the fact that she had locks. Like they made all of these things, but this woman had a resume that could blow anybody out the water. You know what I'm saying? So that's what sparked me from saying like y'all care about the wrong things. There were so many elections here, like locally, that could have gone the right way if people the right way that could have served people better if people would have known what was going on. Oh, I didn't know we had elections. Like, how don't you know that we're not voting? Oh, there's not a presidential election. There's more stuff being done. Like, we have school board, well, we have board of supervisors here. We have people who have all had ulterior motives on why they were running. We have people who are elected to the school board who didn't even have kids. Like who, you know what I'm saying? Like who don't even really care about the teachers. Like this is the issue. Like know what's going on in, like it irritated me. So that's what really pushed me to want to know more and to be able to share the information. And then my voter registration drives showed me that there was a lot of misinformation. Like one lady didn't want to register to vote because she felt that it would take away her benefits. That's what she was
Government
told.
did her government
Yeah.
benefit.
Mhm. And I had to say, no, baby, this is your right. Like
Mhm.
that right there just put the spark, like, oh my gosh, there's a whole section of people that most of the laws that are being passed in my county affected them.
Mhm.
And so for them to say, I don't want to lose my benefits. If I vote for the wrong person, they're going to come and take my benefits. No, you know what I'm saying? That misinformation is what really bothered me so much, because it was like you took somebody's voice away by instilling that fear.
Mhm.
And this woman had to be in her 50s and 60s.
Oh wow. So she wasn't 20 something. She wasn't just
Mm-mm.
new to voting.
Uh-uh. And I told her, I said, sweetheart, no, this will never affect that. She goes, that's why she had never voted.
Oh wow.
I'm
It
like,
took Chandra to come along and to give her the information for her to actually understand that she was operating under a false belief.
right. So that goes to say, like, think about it this way. If she believed that and she was an older woman, what do you think she told her kids?
Right. The same
What,
thing.
and her family? So you have a whole generations and family members, a whole like of voters who could have used their voice. So this is what it takes, one person to be misinformed, then that spreads a lie will travel faster than the truth.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's what people forgetting. Like, stop believing everything that's on social media or what my cousin that worked down there in the office that opened up the mail had said. No, damn it, do your own research. Like that pisses me off so much when I hear that. Like when
Yes.
they got a cousin that work in the office. That's that bullshit I'm talking about. Excuse me, I'm a cuss. So whatever.
No, it's okay. I'm not worried about that. But I wanted to ask that because so often, and especially when everything happened with the racial unrest in America, there were so many people who said, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. Or people who felt like the only thing that you could do is protest or go somewhere and march. But one of the things that was important to me is that we encourage our young people, especially, to become more active as a part of the system. Get them to be the DAs and the lawyers
Yep.
and go out, be the police officers, be a part of the change. Go to college, get an education, become a judge. Those are the things that I would like to see, and not and like yourself, become a part of the system and getting others to register to vote. How did you decide, though, Chandra, what action you wanted to take?
Okay, let me say this. I did not attend no protest. We are in a pandemic. I'm not saying the protesting was bad. Like they had DJs and all type of hosts. I'm like,
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
This ain't no claim to fame, no time to shine and be in the paper and stuff because you want a mic, want to, no, this is not the time because the policy is not you. I get it, protest, but meanwhile we are in a pandemic.
Yes.
I believe my work was done. I got in where I fit in. I'm gonna do my work behind the scenes. I will interview and talk to different people. We had a whole election here in June.
Hmm.
People didn't even know that. So
Right.
my job was to let people know this is what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you the timeline for you to register to vote. This is what you got to get done. Like that was where my role was. I'm more power to the protesters, but
Not you.
they I that's not my ministry.
Yes, I get that. I get
Marching
that.
with a sign is not my ministry. I'm gonna go ahead. I know where the work need to be done. I'm gonna be up here talking to y'all and telling y'all this is what we about to do. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because it's sometimes easier to go in those conversations that are, hey, I'm gonna bring light to this. Do you want to share your opinion? Because I'm gonna put out how I feel. And if you wanna tell other people why they should vote for you, then you better come on and talk to me.
Right.
Because marching, it wasn't until towards the end of the marches and stuff that they started doing voter registration and stuff.
Okay.
And I felt like if you are going to protest and do all of these things, you should have did that out the gate. That should have been the second thing on your list. We meet in the March and we checking to see if you registered to vote. That should have always been the whole MO. But when that became a byline, like a secondary thought, because wait a minute, that's gonna get us more press. Stop thinking like that.
Right.
At the
Right.
gate, at the gate, it should have been, you know what, this is more important. This election's more important. You could go rap on the mic all day, play music all day, sit and be on the lawn all day, but people not registered to vote. And I'm not knocking what nobody else did, but that's not my ministry. So
Yes. But when people think of PR, they think of Chandra Gore Consulting. They think of someone who can help them get their message out, help them
mhm.
get their news out. You have been amazing in helping me spread the message about what I'm doing with the Roundtable Talk Show and Face to Face Talk Show. And you put the word out, a media alert to let everybody know there's this new show. And the face to face, especially, is just taking off. And you've been a guest several times. And it's always so much more fun when you're on the show. You just make it
Oh,
just exciting. You have a different element that you bring to the show, but you have your own show as well, Conversations with Chan.
yeah, I have a podcast and publication. I also do a YouTube videos. I'm behind on posting those, but yeah, my podcast. We will okay. So people normally call me with the same questions all the time, right? I got tired of saying the same thing because the whole time I'm like, listen, you paying me this money. I done said this stuff to somebody so many times. So I
Right.
started recording like those tips that I give people. Like I was doing gifting suites for a little bit before the world closed, and people would ask why should I do this for my brand, or now it's gone virtual, and so I just recorded a podcast on why people should participate in gifting suites. So when I send out my email to explain, to send out the little package, and this is, I included my podcast episode. So it took a lot of the Q&A back and forth out
Mhm.
of the whole situation. So even now when I have people want to hit me up for consultations and want to work with me, I send them a couple of the episodes like, listen, if this should help you understand what I could do and help you define what you want to do. And I include a questionnaire because the biggest thing about me is I'm gonna be honest. If I can't do anything for your business, I'm not just gonna take your money and bullshit you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not the type of business that I run.
Mhm.
And I would rather you be well informed on what you want the outcome to be than just be, what I'm saying, just out here paying me and you don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
So that's my reasons for conversation with Chan. I talked to some amazing people, some celebrities, um, other publicists. Like I've had some amazing conversations that benefited me in my business so people can understand like you have a voice, so why not use it? You know what I'm saying? So it's a fun situation because sometimes I just be on there talking.
Mhm.
Just
But but that's why I started all of these platforms. After the run for the city council, I'm like, I have to have a platform. I have to have a
Mhm.
voice. And I wanted to speak to so many more people because I really began to see a lot clearer than ever before that it wasn't up to one person. No matter who's in the White House, who's in the governor's office, who's the mayor, the city council person, it's still up to all of us to make this world what we want it to be. So I just started talking to so many different people, experts, like you said, celebrities, and saying,
Mhm.
okay, what can we do? And I honestly believe that change starts with the conversation, with speaking to each other.
And I love it. But the thing is, I love being on your show because, like,
And
the round table or face to face, man, listen, the round table is just the G version of face to face. You know what I'm saying? For me,
yes,
because it's so PC, it's so
yes.
business, but face to face, we get down to the nitty gritty, and I love that because you have that certain je ne sais quoi that brings people together, and they just so
Thank you.
comfortable. You like Oprah, but different. Because Oprah used to make people cry. That's how you do
I make people laugh. I want people
right.
to laugh. I want people to be happy. I want them to see the blessings in everyday life. You know what I mean? Because so many people tell their stories and share their experiences. And you and I, we talk about that all the time, that you just have to laugh to keep from
Yo,
crying. You
I
just do.
when we did that panel, when we first did that panel, and you straight out the gate, I was waiting because I was waiting for somebody because I was like, Lord, I'm gonna say something. Somebody else go ahead and open the gate. And when you did, I said, cool. This is what it is. We gonna have a real conversation because sometimes you gotta gauge the room, like
Yes.
because some of the stuff we want to say sometimes they might have hung up on us.
Yes, a long time ago. And you mentioned engage the room. And I used to gauge the room. Now I hardly ever gauge the room. I make the room adjust to me, to what
Yep.
I want to talk about, to what I care about. And then they usually give me the mic first. Like, Sharifah, go ahead. And I almost want to put a disclaimer like, are you sure? Are you really sure
I be
you're
wanting to
ready for
ask.
me?
Listen, because I be wanting to ask, like, do y'all like? And I ask people before they have me on a panel or on their podcast or
Mhm.
any kind of thing. I always say, listen, have you seen
Yes,
me
yes,
before? Because
yes.
I'm not all here,
Mhm. Yes.
and because like there was the okay. Listen, I know I will never be on no Christian platform.
Mhm. It might be
But
fun.
listen, because I'm gonna be the one that ain't couth and ain't saved enough, and they done put me out and then had to bless their computers and stuff after I get done. But because I'm a forgetting cuss, like Jesus
There's a
make it work
cussing
for me.
pastor. You ever seen him on Facebook? That's what he's called, the cursing pastor.
Listen, that might be my uncle. Cause I know for a fact, like my my ability to censor myself is not there. So
I don't like censor though. I really don't
mm-mm.
like censor. I like real. You know what I mean? And as long as I learned an expression someone said to me a long time ago, because I was cursing and somebody got offended and they said she wasn't cursing at you, she was cursing in the sentence. And I was like, yeah, yeah, like
That
it
part.
was just a part of the sentence, but it's not like you're aiming it at that person or that situation. So sometimes it's just being yourself, being who you are. And I
It's
love that you're always real.
it's like it's just a part of what I'm talking about. Because for me,
Mhm.
it's like even when I'm talking to my clients, right? It's I don't coddle my clients. That is not my thing. If you want a coach that's gonna coddle you, I'm not a coach neither. So
Mhm.
therefore, I'm not gonna send you no inspirational quotes and stay on you to do. I'm gonna tell you what we doing. If you don't on that same page, you still gonna get billed. I'm still gonna do my part. It's up to you to do yours because I'm not chasing you. You
Mhm.
better find you somebody that's gonna make you do the stuff that we agreed upon in the contract. Because what you got me for? Like
Right.
I am a consultant. My job is to find out what you
Mhm.
are lacking, give you solutions and steps to get to the point, and it's
Mhm.
up to you if you want to walk down the path that I cleared for you. That
Mhm.
is not my ministry to tell you every day, let's have an accountability session and talk about why. Mm-mm. Nope. I need this by 4 o'clock.
Mhm.
What you want to do? Like,
No, but
I
I
don't.
love that. I love that because you like even when you send me over, like you send me over places to go, appearances, and I get this email, and it's so funny because you and I'll say this to your face to face, that your emails don't reflect your personality. Like they have no warm and fuzzy at all. You know, it's just a link. 5 p.m. on Friday, Zoom link, and
That's
it's
it.
like that's all you do. But knowing you and your personality is like, I get it. It's just this busy woman, thing. It's like we
My
just
like, why should I write you for a soliloquy and a poem, and then at the end put that in the like, and then you just do this? Nah, this is where you're gonna be. This is what you're doing. I already told you what the thing was about. Now this is what we're doing. Like, what you
but
want
I
me to do?
like that though, because I don't like soliloquies. I don't like 8 paragraphs because then I just scan for Zoom links. I'm like, there it is, grab it, done. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Why I'm gonna waste my time? You ain't gonna read the lovely words. That's like getting money in a birthday card. You don't read that. You
I
look at
don't.
the money.
I don't.
You like,
I'll read that
yes,
later.
there you go. And you never read it, so you just put it to the side. It's just a vessel to bring you the money or the gift card. So therefore, I'm just saying, I'm a straight to the point person, and I
Yes.
think it's I'm like rum with no chaser. You know what I'm saying? A
Yes.
henny with no chase, and I'm okay with that
Yes.
because within that fluff, like it becomes bullshit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, and I don't ascribe to that. Like I can't. Like I used to have people wake up gang banging on breakfast. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, I can't. This ain't the. I'm good. I
Right.
wake up smiling, because my eyes open. I didn't wake up dead. So therefore,
Yes, yes. But I mean,
like,
it's a style that I like, but it's a style that I respect. Now, if people are out there and they have a product, they have a service, and they don't know what to do, where to go, and they say, you know what? If only everyone knew about it. If only I can get it on the news. If only there was someone who knew how to spin this in a way that other people would take notice of. Is that how people come to you? Like those kind of
a
like,
lot of
oh,
people, yeah, and then it's when they come to me like that and they want to, I want more people to know what I'm doing. The first thing I ask is, what's your standard operating procedure? What's your SOP? Right?
mhm,
And if they tell me I don't know what that is, let's
mhm,
go ahead. Let's talk about this, because if you don't know your back house, why
mhm,
would you want to put your stuff on Front Street?
mhm,
Because that's where I'm gonna have to be Olivia Pope cleaning up mess, because everybody done left 1-star reviews on your shit, and then you want to know why you can't sell no product because
mhm,
everything on back order and you weren't ready. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And a lot of people take on clients, and I'm not knocking them, but they business not even registered, or
mhm.
they don't even have a customer service system or a mailing list or anything. You know what I'm saying? Or a website.
Yes, yes. They
So
think they can do it just from Instagram.
right, and people think that Instagram is the only place to be popping.
Mhm,
No, you have to have a well-rounded business plan, a well-rounded business, because I'm not gonna pitch a lie.
mhm,
That's not my MO. That's not my thing. That's not my ministry. I'm not gonna pitch something that I wouldn't even buy from
mhm.
or like even follow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm sorry, it's rainy here. I'm not free, mom. Okay.
We okay.
So yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so that's my biggest thing. Like, I look at all of that because people will come to me. I just want to chat with you. Nope, because that chat gonna turn into something. Nope, and I need to know exactly what I'm getting into. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? Have you Googled yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't realize there might be bad information out there beforehand. Come with clean hands. Let me know
mhm,
exactly what I'm getting into. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? If you don't have some personal issues on your Facebook and you mix that with your business, people ain't gonna care about your business. Well, she
Right.
was arguing with her third baby father last week. I don't know what to say. You want to buy her body butter? Like, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, let people know what they're getting into. If you got people you used to work with and they hate you now and they leaving bad reviews, tell me.
Mhm,
Let me know business. Like, most people who come and want those kind of services, they need to understand. I'm gonna ask all those questions because you ain't gonna have me up here running around looking crazy.
mhm. No, not at all. But it's interesting that you said had you Googled yourself, because when I was running for Long Beach City Council, I was sitting at a kitchen table with about 4 or 5 other women. We were just sitting there talking, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, this news story just hit." And the lady says to me, she's like, "How did you know?" And I was like, "Google alerts."
Hello.
She was like, "You have Google alerts?" I'm like,
Yup.
"Doesn't everyone?" Like, I thought that was like standard. She said, "No, I thought only celebrities had Google alerts." I'm
I'm
like,
a
"Yeah."
celebrity in my head.
If you are in business, anybody who is in business should have a Google alert for their name, their brand. So if anybody mentions anything, they know immediately. I know I do. I'm always watching for news on
Listen,
me.
I have Google alerts for all of my clients because of the
Hmm.
fact that sometimes they'll do stuff and don't tell me.
Right.
And then I have to pick it up, you know what I'm saying, and ask them, hey, what's going on with this? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because, and plus, I want to kind of control the narrative a little bit because if it's something that we don't want out there, I
Hmm.
have a leg up on getting it removed or making it, you know what I'm saying, putting the truth out there instead to counteract what was posted. So a lot of times people don't know because even before I have a consultation, I have people submit all their social media links and stuff because if it's something that I know that it's not for me and it's not in my wheelhouse and it's not something I want to be bothered with, nope. Nope. Because this working with somebody is like a relationship.
Hmm.
You know out the gate if the relationship is going to work or not.
Right.
So therefore, don't sit up here just because they have the money to pay your retainer to take them on, knowing good and damn well that that's not your cup of tea and you don't like what they're talking about. You don't like what they're doing as a business.
Hmm.
So that's from Google. Listen, Google is your friend.
Yes. Yes. But when you also look at their social media, do you, and I know it may not be your sole decision maker, but do you look at their numbers? Because even when
No.
I'm helping, I do. When I'm looking at people for the show, or when I'm looking at
Mhm.
people who want me to help them with marketing and they want my opinion on their
Oh
business,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, how are you going to market your business if you have 5 followers? Like, that's your mom, your dad, cousin Sue. You
Yeah,
know what I
so that,
mean?
I look at that as I look at that too if that's what they're coming to me for. Like
Hmm.
this is what the biggest thing. Like I'll put that in my analysis. Like you need to increase your followers, but if you
Hmm.
only coming to me and asking me for public relations, I'm not going to go outside of whatever you ask me
Hmm.
because this is where I kind of will go full out and do a full strategy plan and how to increase your followers. And I've learned that they're only paying me for a PR consultation.
Hmm.
And I have to give them exactly that because the minute I do that, I have the tendency to take the ball and run
Hmm.
and do a whole lot for what, you know what I'm saying, put hours and hours. And I had to limit myself on that because a lot of times I see people and the first thing I say, you need to recheck it. You need to meet with a social media manager. And if you want to talk to me about it, you could book another and we can go through that whole process because I've learned to value what I do, you know what I'm saying? Because I can see it's a deficiency, but if that's not what they came to me asking me for initially, I can't for my good conscience, for myself, go ahead and start putting a plan together because some people you think that followers, equates to value. And
Hmm.
that's not the case. You could buy followers all day.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's always about are you consistent? You can have 5 followers, but you could be consistent in your posting and have
Hmm.
way more likes than those 5 followers.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a touchy, it's a game with that.
And,
It's a touchy thing.
and that's what people want to learn. That's what they tune in to Ask Sharifah videocast for, to learn the important things. And one of the things
Hmm.
that you mentioned that was key, it is, and was gold, was the engagement. Because you
Yeah,
talk about the likes, and that's the engagement. You will have people
yeah.
who buy followers, but when you look at, there's no comments, there's
No
no
likes.
like, because there's no engagement, because these are some followers that they didn't bought somewhere on the internet. But
Hmm.
what are some strategies? And I know this is going in a different direction, but I know everyone wants to know. So I have to ask and I have to give the
Hmm.
people what they want. What are some PR strategies? What are some ways? We know hiring you. Everyone wants to hire you. We know you're booked from now into eternity. But for PR, what are some simple, basic things that people can do to help get the word out about what they're
I would actually tell people like if you have a blog, if you don't have a blog, create one and put your news there, put your new updates there. Create a timeline for your business, a history for your business or your personality because That way people, no matter what, make sure you know SEO, make sure you know those keywords are in your blog post. You know what I'm saying? Because your blog post could essentially be your RSS feed, your media feed, your news feed. You know what I'm saying? So you may not be on Facebook like that, you may not be on Instagram like that, but create a blog, share the blog links. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like Google has this whole a new platform where it's I forgot what the name of it is. It's weird, but you can post your news updates and it shows up on your business when people Google
Mhm.
your business. So use the tools that are free that are there. You can write 2 paragraphs and have enough words in it to tell about your business and what you're doing. Offering a new product, offering a new menu item. Just make like little write-ups about it. Tell what's on the menu, write it out the recipe, do some shit like that. And then that'll get you more traction and people will see that you are making a way and you are Googleable, you are a figure. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people forget behind a business is a person.
Yes.
Show yourself a little bit. I never wanted to do that. I just got a website 2 years ago.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to be seen, but then now look at me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the fact that I am my business and I want my stuff to thrive. Like, and this is not just my only business. You
Yes,
know what
let's
I'm
talk
saying?
about that because you have a lot, and we're about to sell how many books this month?
100. I want to sell 100 of the newest release of 9 to 5 because it's me and like 20 other people. But I used to be a proponent on keeping a day job,
Mhm.
but I did what was necessary to to save and to plan correctly. To when they broke up with me, I wasn't devastated because I was ready.
Yes, yes, yes. I've been
So
laid off 8 times, kicked to the
listen,
curb 8 times. So I learned not to put all my eggs in one
mm,
basket. Now I got baskets everywhere. I'm stepping on baskets.
you gotta have baskets. You gotta you have to
Yes.
diversify your life. So that was my biggest thing. Like you know, I had to dial back from the comedy scene to
Mhm.
refocus, and because my comedy festival for this year, because of COVID, got pushed back. You know what I'm saying? Till next year. So I'm coming harder next year because I want people to understand like there's more to it than just there's a business in comedy. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? I'm looking at everything that's going on right now. So my comedy festival, even the shows I used to do, I had to dial it back because I want to give quality instead of quantity. And plus, low key, I'm opening up my own club. So therefore, i.e., sometimes you got to fall back to plan to
Mhm.
make a big comeback. So it's like, that kind of, having the ability to do that. And then, I always was into production. Like even behind the scenes now, I'm producing shows virtually. I don't
Mhm.
talk about that's something that, I love doing it.
Mhm.
So those are the things like, yes, like I love everything. I love what I do. I love any project that I put my mind to. I'm gonna go full force because I have a legacy to leave, and my daddy ain't raised no punk. So
So what you're saying is we about to open that club in Long Beach, California.
hello, you know what? Hey, I'm here for it because y'all have a booming scene out there. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like that area is untouched, but it needs to be like it needs to be tapped into. And I have no problem finding this. I have no problem coming out there. For
Come
some
on
odd
out here.
reason,
Yeah.
guess where on my podcast, Oakland, I get a lot of listenership in Oakland. They're the number one city that listens to my podcast.
But
Now
you
I don't
know
know
what?
no who are.
There's a lot of comedy in Oakland. If you look at a lot of the comedy
Yeah,
specials from Cat Williams to Dave Chappelle, you'll see
Oakland.
Oakland has a huge comedy scene. And we see
Mhm,
we're not near Oakland. We're down in Southern California, but we're right in Los Angeles County. We need some comedy down here. And when I was
mhm.
hosting my own comedy shows, that's what I would do. I would put on comedy shows. My brand is Laughter Heals. And that's what I believe is that we just laugh and have a good time. We'll heal
Don't play with
ourselves.
me.
That is, I'm telling you, that's my brand, and
I
I'm
was
looking for venues right now to host a comedy show.
But listen, I so what I did when COVID knocked my whole comedy festival, I wrote out a full plan on how to because I see everybody's doing their pop-ups and all this other
Mhm.
stuff, but I wrote a standard operating procedure procedure that I had to submit to the county so that they could understand, like, this is my plan on how to do my festival even in the next year, so that it makes sense and it's safe, so I do think that it's possible. That is so perfect.
Yes,
Because
we're
you
gonna
could
make it
take
happen.
somewhere, yeah, because it's like there's so many spaces that are underutilized that could be utilized for comedy. You are like the ability to stream or to do the backgrounds, and it's such a, yeah, we have to talk, because I think I'm wanting something, and I have the backing from whoever whom I need the backing from, because the chitlin circuit is cool and everything, but you need structure. You need business
Well,
system.
come down here,
I'm
because
here
like I
for it.
said, you got the backing. I got the people, because here in LA, all the comedians know when I host a comedy show, people come out and people are tired of being in the house. I went out this past Thursday. One of my comedian friends, Stacy, the comedian who tunes into all of my shows, he
Mhm.
invited me out. So I went to that comedy show September 4th. One of my other friends, Franz Cassius, France has been on BET Comic View,
I
and
know who that is.
yes, France is actually going to be on Face to Face Talk Show this Wednesday. Woo!
Wait a minute. I'm on dang it, I'm on the round table on Wednesday.
Okay, well, you might have to come back, because France will be there on Face to Face Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Okay.
If you want a seat, let me know. I'll grab a seat for you on
Yeah,
Wednesday
grab
at
a
10
seat for me.
a.m.
That way I can just stay online the whole time.
Just stay online, because
That's
France
it.
is going to be there. And France, he's going to talk about, and the reason I had him on the show was because we were discussing how someone had unfriended me for just sharing a post that said, like, numbers about COVID-19, and that we don't have to live in fear. And that's all I said. And I didn't even like write the post. This is all I
but
did was share the post.
but the
And the
thing
lady
is,
told me I was a fool for believing that, and she unfriended me.
well, bye. Like, let me tell you something. When people announce that they are unfriending me, bye. I don't even do that, because I don't care. Because low key, I ain't got but 4 friends anyway, for real. And
I love your post, but the thing that got me was the people who know me, who know Sharifah Hardie, know I make some opinionated posts. Like, I make some posts that will hurt your feelings. But this
hey,
wasn't even a post that I had even given a second
she
thought to.
she
Like, I
was
was
looking for a reason to unfriend you, so she had to find something. She's like, look, I need a reason. I need
like,
a reason. Oh, here it is. Boom.
I think so. And what was so
I think
crazy about that post was, like, 4 people that I hadn't heard from in 5 years all started talking at the same time. And I was like, okay, I didn't even know we were still
hey,
friends.
in my petty behind would have said, well, tune into my show. Because I did that. I made a post and everybody was commenting. Well, since everybody is here now, this is what I'm trying to do this month. Like, y'all want to be on it? Okay, cool. Let me tell y'all something. Since y'all seem to have missed this post, but y'all
Yes,
see this one, so guess what?
yes,
Catch this one too. Like, I just
yes.
like people. Let me tell you something. I despise social media. I know it's a necessary need sometimes.
We got to
People,
deal with it.
people be taking it so serious. Like, this is my page. No, it's not. It's Mark Zuckerberg page, and
Mhm.
therefore I eat.
But you know what gets me though is, see, I'm the kind of person, I love to talk. So it's like, I don't like, to me, I think that's kind of like, I call it like you throw a rock and hide your hand. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's like you say what you got to say, then you unfriend me. Like, I want to talk back. I want to say what
First of
I have
all,
to.
like, because I want to tell you, I don't give a damn how you feel. Like, let me be able to tell you that I don't care. Because then I'm gonna
Yes.
go to your page and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say on your wall. Like, pick and choose what you.
But
I mean,
I use it to laugh though. That's why I said laughter. He goes,
this
because I hadn't even spoken to this woman, I'm telling
ugh,
you, in a
she
couple of
been mad at
years.
you for a long time. She been waiting.
Yes.
She been needing
Yes.
something.
And
Like,
look,
girl,
I done ran for city council. I done tried to raise nothing. No comments, just crickets, radio silence. But I made one post about COVID-19, and now I'm unfriended. I'm like, you know what? That's how life is. But I digress. I want to go back because Kevin Jones from Business in a Bucket asked the question, where can he purchase your book?
which one? My
The book
bad.
that you were talking about, you want to
Go.
sell 100 copies?
Oh, Yeah, go to chandragoreconsulting.com/books, and it is the 9 to 5. You'll see it. It's under the new pre-order that I have. It's on that same page. You'll see both of them there.
And so the 9 to 5, and what's the second book?
The other one is collective breath.
Hmm.
It won't be out until, so I'm taking pre-orders now because it's a hardbound book. Um, it was talking about what it's like being black in America.
Hmm.
And for me, I said some things in that book, that chapter I wrote, because these two are very. I like both of them because of the fact that I'm allowed to be myself.
Hmm.
So I'm telling in the 9 to 5 book, I'm telling you what you should do to plan to exit your 9 to 5 if that's what you plan on doing. And then in the collective breath, it's just my feelings about how being black in America, like, because it's a being a black woman in America is a whole different
Hmm.
feeling, and it's like
But you know what I think, and maybe you're the only one in the world that might agree with me, but I really believe it's our time. Like it is
it,
our time. You know, it's
mhm,
not only the memes that says that we're not our grandparents. Like we are
right,
not our grandparents. We
we're
don't
not.
have that feeling where I'm scared to look you in the eye. I'm scared to look you in the face. I'm scared to talk. You know, they used to call us being scared to talk back, but only children
Mhm,
talk back. Like we just talk. We just say whatever
right.
we have to say. And so it's our time to have the freedom to be able to do that. And I think, you know, and I think you and I both agree because people have been coming to both of us asking us to speak on panels because now all of a sudden they just discovered the black woman. Like, woo,
Like we
look,
just poof
black people.
showed up last week. We just fresh out the package, smelling like new plastic. No, we've been
Yes.
here. Look at like listen, because I always go back to Shirley Chisholm,
Mm-hmm,
and she, to me, like, y'all gotta understand, the mouth was reckless, but
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I loved every bit of it. Like, y'all don't like, for them to want to finally listen
mm-hmm,
makes it known, like, so y'all just wanted us to feed y'all, clothe y'all, uplift y'all, and y'all don't want to do nothing in, like, no, we are not here for that anymore. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? And plus I am talking about, like, a lot of the infighting that's in with black women too, the competition, that a lot of the competitiveness, the false sisterhood, women empowerment shit, like, that is something that we definitely have to talk about too within ourselves.
mm-hmm,
Everybody's like, don't put our dirty laundry out there. First of all, so like, the toxicity that exists within black women too, in these circles, these mean girl circles, like, all of these things come into play, and it's like we can't advance for ourselves if we don't address these issues. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? The colorism, you know what I'm saying, just, I'm not saying every circle or every thing is perfect, but damn, why can't we call each other to the carpet? Like, if I'm messing up, right? And I get that everybody outside of us wants to deal with black women now. But there's some black women who don't even want to deal with black women.
mm-hmm.
When we gonna have that conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like,
But I
when are
think it's
we?
the way you approach it. And I think the way we approach it is changed. It has changed as we learn to work together. Because I remember
Mhm.
the very first time I met you, the very first time I met you, you were like 40 minutes late on the show. And I was just like, I didn't go, okay, she's a black woman. I just
Mm-mm.
looked at it like, okay. And then after he was like, I was stuck on a call. It was important. I was on a conference call. This happened. And after that, you've always been not on time. You've been early.
Early.
You know what I mean? And so,
I
okay.
That's my thing. Like, for me to be late is unacceptable. For me, that is I beat myself up about that, because one thing my father always taught me: to be on time is to be late,
Mhm,
and to be early is on time. Because you
mhm,
never know what could happen beforehand or what
mhm,
you need to prepare for. So I've I lost points at the job interview because I was 30 minutes early. Well, I don't care. Or do y'all want somebody that, well, the time said such and such? Okay, and traffic could have been bad. Like, I beat myself up first.
Right. But we have to just have that open space, that open conversation to say no one's perfect, and just kind of roll with it and make things happen. And that's what happened after that experience. Because even now, when I think of some of the most entertaining, the most, interesting panels that I've been on, it's like, oh yeah, and it was Chandra and I, and then Chandra said that, and so if I would have just looked at that first interaction and just wrote you off, then we wouldn't be where we are today. And you have done more than just about anyone to help me personally, not just Ask Sharifah, not just the Round Table Talk Show, not just face to face, but you were like, Sharifah, we got to get you out there. What you're doing is great. Let me help you.
Amazing. Like, cause for me, it's like to see another Black woman who does not bite their tongue. Like this, like Marsha Wolford. Oh my God, I love her so much. She don't bite her tongue. Okay. And I feel like we do not have to operate in these spaces of bullshit where we bite our tongue. And for me, it was like seeing you and what you've done in the last couple, in the short amount of time, you have built a media, you had people on panels that would probably cross the street if they saw each other walking on the sidewalk. Think about it. Done clutch their purses, okay?
Right.
Would have just went in some coffee house until the scary Black man walked by, or the scary gay guy. Like you put people that would never be in the same room on the same. Like there are people on so many different levels that have been on your show, like that would have never interacted with each other, and that is a special gift that not a lot of people have. You know what I'm saying? And you got it organically. You didn't go out here and follow who, you didn't clout chase. You didn't do any of that. You didn't sacrifice your integrity. You got it the authentic way. And that's why it's real. That's why it's legitimate. That's why I'm behind it, because it was some bullshit. You would have never seen me no more.
I received that. And I thank you, because you mentioned one of my favorite people, Shirley Chisholm. And I've studied her and I researched her. And then I was on a guest on a podcast, and the gentleman asked me about her. He said, do you have the same belief that you just want a seat at a table? And I said, I have the utmost respect for her, but my thought was not to have a seat at the table, but to create my own table, to create my own platform where other people could come and join me and we can have a conversation. So I think every generation takes it to another level, because back then we never would have dreamed that we can go ahead and create our own platforms. And that's exactly what you do. You've created platforms for comedy. You've created platforms to talk with your podcast. You have 2 books that are coming out. You're helping people with PR. You're helping people with social media. And you haven't left your house since like March. So I mean, you got a lot going on.
And this is what I'm saying, like I was like that before the pandemic. Everybody thinks I'm such an extrovert. I'm not. I don't like to people. Okay, let's say that. Like, if I really, when I had to make appearances and go places, I was in and out in 15 minutes. Because if I don't want how I put this, people put on so many fronts, and if I see the wizard behind the, behind the curtain, that kind of makes it bad for me, and I don't deal with the bullshit. So for me, this pandemic was a blessing for me, because I'm able to discern bullshit faster now. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't put on a falsehood or bullshit somebody and now, because there's no event to be, there's no a bunch of people that you can front to. You know what I'm saying? So you have no choice but to be real and authentic now. And I'm like I've gone through some changes with stuff. Like I've this pandemic has been a blessing. That's all I'm gonna say, because I done learned people ain't who they cracked up to be. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta hurt yourself. You gotta hurt. Sometimes you gotta go through the pain. You know what I'm saying, of losing, or think what you think you're losing to gain or to get ahead. So it's a swifter process now to clean house and keep the fuck moving.
I get it. And I always love speaking with you. That's just like on Wednesday. I'm going to try to hold on to you for 2 shows. I'm going to send you the link. Go ahead and schedule it. We need you there on Facebook.
I am.
We're going to talk to Franz. But we've talked almost an hour. Like we've been talking for 59 minutes. I've been having so much fun.
I didn't even realize it though. I never
That's how
realized
we do. That's how we do. But I have to wrap it up. And at the end of every show,
it.
I just love to allow my guests the opportunity to speak directly to
Mm.
everyone who is watching the show live, as well as everyone who's watching in the archives, and simply allow them to know what you want them to take away from your interview here today, Chandra.
Well, one, make sure you register to vote and know who's on the ballot. Okay. And then two, check out Conversations with Chan the podcast. And also on medium.com, Conversations with Chan. Also, if you need any kind of help or anything like that, visit my website, check me out, find out how I can help you. There is a premium. I give you 15 minutes free, but there is a premium to that. So yeah, just check me out. And can I shout out my clients real quick?
Absolutely. Take your time.
So listen, I work with some amazing women and men in business. Falasha Day, the accountability accountant. Now she works with your business and helps you to find ways to pay your children, also elevate yourself. Then I have Cheese Appendix Brown. Let me tell you something. When I tell you this woman has taken over North Carolina, I admire her. Like I can't wait for her to be on the show because her drive is crazy to me. And I met her years ago. No, I finally met her this year in person after she had this 90-day focus. And then, excuse me, there's Danya Zimmerman. She used to be an attorney, but she has the Ultimate Biz Women Conference. And I think the difference is that I don't get behind conferences like that, but this was amazing. Um, Jessica, Simply Sweets. I'm sorry, I gotta shout you out because you keep me good. And also Renee Hub, I love you. I gotta connect you to for real because she's an evangelist, but she not one of them evangelists that over preach you. And she worked with me, so obviously she got some grace in her heart. And Randy, Elliot, all y'all doing stuff in music, but that's what I wanted to shout them out because let me tell you, I learned how to do Wikipedia pages because of them.
I'm gonna need one of those.
Yes, you do, so we can get you the blue checks.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So let's
Uh,
make that happen. But anyone else you want to shout out before I close?
oh, yes. So, Kaylin, naturally phased, she actually opened up her own in this pandemic. She opened up a safe space for people to come and get the healing,
Mm-hmm.
the little
Yes.
sound healing and stuff like that. She's done so much, and for some odd reason, like she doesn't. She's amazing in her own right, and I really wish she would know that. But yeah, like I had to tell you. But I know I forgot some people. Sorry, y'all know me. Oh, T, hey girl, I know you watching. Thank you for watching. She does my graphics. She does graphics and check me. And Lachelle, definitely got to hook you up with her. Minority Report featuring Black-owned businesses. But that's about it. If I
You
just,
had Erica Alcox who joined us today.
Hi, Erica, Okra So True. Okay, listen, she's amazing too, y'all. She has the Crunch Bus. I want my Chucktown Chewies. There's brownies. You got to get you some.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You got Tiania Goodwin. I don't know. I'm
That's
messing that
T.
up.
Just call it
Okay.
T.
T
She
Goodwin.
does. Yeah, she's a marketing branding guru.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she will get you. She gets people together. Like that's a whole wow. Like she's somebody that a lot of people need to know because if they use that same logo from Canva, I'm fighting y'all. You
We
know
have
about
had a
that.
wonderful show today. Thank you for being here. We will be here for another couple of hours messing with
We sure
you.
no will.
So
Yes.
thank
No
you.
messing with you.
Oh, no, this is my fault. Like this is
It's
my
your fault.
fault.
You let me do this.
I just knew you was gonna do it, so I cleared off the rest of my day. I said I'm gonna sit down with Chandra. I have no idea what she's about to say, but I know it's gonna be interesting. So thank you for being here today. Also,
Welcome.
everyone who tuned in to watch the show live. Thank you, Kevin Jones, for your comments. Also has some great comments from yes, Erica Alcott said to the point and accountability are most important. So if you are interested in being a guest, please visit the website at asksharifa.com and don't just listen to what Chandra has to say on the show. Visit her website, check out her books, follow her on social media. She is so entertaining to watch because she's always posting. information that I always retweet and share with the world. She makes my life easier because I don't have to post. I can just retweet. Good stuff. Huh, Chandra?
Yes.
Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Everyone have a safe and a blessed day. Bye now.